Hey guys, David here, and welcome to Digital Outlook. Guys, do we have an amazing show for you today? Stakes are high. Judge Torres to deny SEC. So, guys, let's get to it. So guys, right now, we all know that there is some major big time conjecture going on with respect to this whole Ripple versus SEC lawsuit. And guys, there are some major legal analysts coming out there and flat out saying that the SEC is going to lose hands down. Now guys, just take a look at this article right over here. Ripple XRP News, Judge Torres to deny SEC's motion in remedies phase. Now, just listen to this. Ripple XRP News, the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission's reasons for arguing injunctions and disgorgement are weak, and Judge Torres can deny the SEC's argument that institutional investors suffered pecuniary harm, stated lawyer James Murphy, known as Meta Lawman by the XRP Army. And guys, we on this channel have talked about this whole issue of disgorgement. And the thing is this, when it comes to these institutional investors that invested really early on, not one of them, the SEC cannot produce one of them that has been harmed in the sense that they have not had profit. There is not one. And if there's been no harm, there's no disgorgement. If there's no disgorgement, guys, there is no interest. And if there's none of that, then even the penalty could be significantly reduced. Now, just listen to this. Pro XRP lawyer James Murphy, in a post on X, said the U.S. SEC's reply brief does not add anything meaningful to the argument that institutional investors suffer pecuniary harm. The SEC seeks $876 million in disgorgement from Ripple Labs on the claim that some institutional investors have suffered harm. Now, guys, where they're getting this is they're saying, well, some got it a little cheaper than these guys over here, and so these guys over here got more of a profit than these guys over here, but all of them are in profit, which is mind-bending when you think that there was any harm done. I mean, that is just absolutely insane. Now, while Ripple argued that the Goville case precedent maintained that the SEC is not entitled to disgorgement if there is no financial harm to the buyer, Murphy added that the SEC relies on SEC versus iFresh, a district court case, which held that the pecuniary harm required is proved when a stock price is artificially inflated. The SEC asserts Ripple artificially manipulated XRP price through various ways, including automated bots. Ripple's executives had denied such claims many times earlier. In my view, the iFresh decision is a misreading of the Second Circuit holding in Goville on disgorgement. And interestingly, the judge who wrote the iFresh decision designated it not for electronic or print publication, said Meta Lawman. The SEC argued some institutional buyers suffered pecuniary harm as they received less discount on XRP as compared to others who paid a bigger price. Exactly what I was saying earlier. That makes absolutely zero sense. The fact of the matter is, each and every one of them is in major profit, even with the prices as they are today. And no harm has been done. And in fact, guys, not one of these companies has come out to side with the SEC and say, yeah, I was harmed and I want you to go to bat for me. Not a one. That is truly amazing right there. Now, Judge Torres will likely deny the SEC's motion in part for $2 billion in fines. James Murphy reasoned it is still wrong to cite a decision with a not-for-publication designation as precedent. These are considered the weakest precedents for any case. Now, However, he doesn't rule out the possibility of Judge Torres going with the IFresh reasoning. Also, it is possible the judge would schedule a hearing to resolve unanswered questions about the positions of the party. Now, listen to this. In response to James Murphy, lawyer Jeremy Hogan says you have to request permission from the appellate court before citing those cases. Hopefully, the judge will catch that since Ripple has no reply. Now, look at this right over here. And this is where Jeremy Hogan is being quoted right here. Now, lawyer predicts Ripple win in SEC case. Now, the legal battle between Ripple and the SEC nears its end, with briefs being filed and lawyers predicting Ripple's victory. Guys, this is big. The landmark legal battle between Ripple Labs and the SEC is nearing its conclusion. Everything is pretty much filed, guys. All we're waiting for now is the judge's decision. Now, both parties have submitted their closing arguments, leaving the cryptocurrency industry on tender hooks as they await a verdict that could significantly impact how digital assets are regulated in the U.S. Prominent lawyer Jeremy Hogan, who has closely followed the case, believes Ripple has a strong chance of winning. In its final arguments, the SEC did not directly challenge Ripple's core business model of facilitating international payments via blockchain technology. Additionally, they failed to present new evidence justifying their initial request for a hefty $2 billion fine against Ripple. Hogan interprets this as a sign of a potentially weaker case for the SEC. Furthermore, he believes the court is unlikely to rule that XRP is a security, a classification that would subject it to stricter regulations. The optimistic outlook for Ripple stands in stark contrast to the concerns of some industry leaders like Michael Saylor, who feared the SEC might restrict XRP and similar currencies. Saylor's apprehension highlights the broader uncertainty surrounding the SEC's approach to cryptocurrency regulation. Guys, it's regulation by enforcement. And this is where I believe the court is going to see through this narrative absolutely for sure. Judge Torres is no slouch. She literally adjudicated the case that the SEC presented it based on the Howey test itself and determined that XRP was not a security when it came to the secondary market, guys, because hey, it's not like the oranges in the Howey test were securities. They weren't. It was contracts associated with them. Now, with the on-demand liquidity, there's a lot of conjecture that this is going to get completely resolved. Why? Because, guys, when you're talking about ODL, you're talking about in corporations and institutions using it for its utility, not as an investment contract depending on the efforts of others like Ripple to produce a profit. That is not what it's about. And in fact, Ripple had changed their model for ODL to the point where Judge Torres herself could absolutely adjudicate that on-demand liquidity transactions in the United States do not constitute securities transactions. And that is going to be big. I genuinely believe it. Now, the contrasting penalty amounts proposed by each side raise further questions about the SEC's true intentions. The SEC seeks Ripple's hefty $2 billion fine for selling XRP to institutional investors. Ripple counters with a significantly smaller figure of $10 million. Lawyer Jeremy Hogan warns that if the SEC prevails and forces Ripple to pay the $2 billion fine, Ripple might be forced to sell a large portion of its XRP holdings to meet the financial obligation. This in turn could lead to a significant drop in the price of XRP, potentially harming many retail investors who hold the cryptocurrency. And what's so laughable about this case from day one is the SEC is supposed to be out there protecting you and I as retail investors, aren't they? Well, guys, what happened before they dropped this case? Well, there was the Flare snapshot, and boy, were people FOMOing in to this space so they could participate in that snapshot, because Back then, how it was going to go is they would give a 1-to-1 airdrop. For every XRP you held, you were going to get a flare airdrop to you. And so a lot of people FOMO'd in. And what happened after that snapshot? Right after that snapshot is when Jay Clayton left the SEC and dropped the Ripple lawsuit on the very day that he left. And guys, it is absolute insanity when you look at the history of what's been going on in this case, and the fact of the collusion that went on behind the scenes is truly mind-numbing. In fact, the court themselves came out and said that the SEC is not having any kind of a faithful allegiance to the law, and that is a major, major rebuke from the court in this case. That is for sure. Now, Hogan's concerns underscore the potential negative consequences the SEC's actions could have on the entire cryptocurrency market. The final decision in the Ripple versus SEC case will have far-reaching implications for the cryptocurrency industry in the U.S. A victory for Ripple could provide much-needed clarity for crypto companies by establishing clear regulatory guidelines. Guys, this is absolutely crazy. And in fact, we're right now on the very threshold of this decision, and it is going to be big either way. In fact, I believe that the decision in this case is going to be so big, it is going to have the long-standing influence that the Howey test does. The Howey test, that decision is back from the 1940s, and here we are in 2024 still looking at that to adjudicate cases. Guys, I believe the Ripple test is coming, and it may last itself 80, 90 to 100 years as a form, as an absolute benchmark for decisions when it comes to these digital assets. Now, guys, something else. Just check this out right here. XRP price to reach $1.68 in the near term. Carter noted in X, formerly Twitter post, that the XRP price was bouncing from the lower trend line of a symmetrical triangle on a weekly chart. Now, guys, I missed this up here. Crypto analyst Jonathan Carter has predicted the XRP price could raise to $1.68. And listen to this down here. He claimed that a successful breakout above the triangle would signal a bullish outlook for the crypto token, with 93 cents and $1.68 as midterm targets if this happens. Guys, we are on the threshold. We get a decision in this case sooner rather than later. I think is going to be mind-bending. And if we see the victory and the decision that we think we're going to see, and what a lot of these legal analysts are predicting, guys, I believe personally it is going to be on like Donkey Kong. Now, that is just my opinion. Like I love to say, I always encourage you to get out there and truly research it for yourself. But guys, I am 100% convinced, and that's like why I always come out and say I do not want you to miss it. I want you to get out there, really do your research, because guys, I want you to be standing right there in the middle of that winner circle when we cross that finish line. So guys, one of the best decisions that Judy and I made in that last bull run is that we got our plan in place before it absolutely took off. And what our coaching program offers, that is where you and I can meet personally, one-on-one, for 1 hour over Zoom. And during that time, I share with you our personal journey in that last bull run and what enabled Judy and I to experience some amazing financial success. I share with you the mistakes we made so that you don't have to fall into the same pitfalls we did. We take a look at your portfolio and make sure that it's balanced towards your goals, and we work together to develop your exit strategy. We can even get your assets off an exchange and onto a hardware wallet, along with delivering to you some amazing techniques that are really going to help you in this space. Now, the cost of that is $250, and if that's something that interests you, you write me right there at coaching@thedigitaloutlook.com, and we'll get y'all booked in. So guys, I truly hope that you enjoyed today's video, and as always, it's not financial advice, it's just my 2 cents. Hit the like and subscribe, drop your comments right down there in the comment section, and I'll catch you in the next one.